Good morning. So I'm reading here a report by the U.S. Surgeon General issuing a health advisory on parental stress and mental health. He says parents are not okay right now. Surgeon General warns parents are under dangerous levels of stress. Parental stress is a serious health issue, warns U.S. Surgeon General. Surgeon General says parents are at their wits' end. We can do better. Yeah, I think we can do better. First of all, what we believe and what we know are two different things. So on this subject, I know. I had 7 kids. I raised 7 children. I put 7 kids through college. I married off 7 children. So I think I have the capacity to speak on what I have done, not so much what I believe. But where we sit now, our lives are controlled by media. If you watch the news, which I'm trying to do less and less of that, you're going to get pulled in so many different directions. And then you go to social media, which is another complete world of distraction that we live in today. Social media. I just returned from the Miami airport. As I sat waiting for my plane, looking around, everybody was looking into their iPhones or their iPads. There was just like no conversation. Folks, things are going too fast. Things are too intense. This is not the way. We're all walking around as parents, wired and tired. That's not what we're here for on this earth. We're here to learn, evolve, grow, learn joy, bliss, just be happy. Well, we all have good intentions, and that's what we all want. We don't want wars. We want peace. We have good intentions. But what happens sometimes is our attention affects our intentions. In other words, we're thinking about the distress in the workplace. We're thinking about the distress in our family, distress in our kids. In general, turmoil in the world. But whatever you're paying attention to is going to distract you from your intentions. As I say, we all intend good, but where we put our minds is attention. And there is no way you will accomplish your intentions unless your attentions match your intentions. So once again, what you think about is where your life goes. That's what Buddha said. We become what we think. And our thoughts, a lot of times, tend to resist things like wars and famine and the bad things that are happening in the world. And we think about it, we fight it. But what we don't understand is what we resist persists. Better to get a thought of what does it look like when people are at peace, when people are taking care of each other. And let these kind of thoughts work in your head instead of resist the wars and the strife that's going on in the world, which tends to help things persist. So what you pay attention to is very important, even when you set good intentions. And once again, what you think about is where you're going in life. You can change things around, but you have to be aware of what you're thinking about. You've got to train your awareness to keep a clear mind. You have to have mindfulness. What is mindfulness? It's simply living in the present, in the moment, not letting your thoughts run wild with those monkey brains, I call it. When things start rolling around in your head that just make no sense, I call that monkey brains. But anyway, we all go through that. So how do you clear this stuff up? How do you get the balance? I keep going back to breathing. The first thing you do when you're born and come into the world, you take a breath. the last thing you do when you leave the world, you take a breath. So your breath indicates life. So how do you use your breath to help you form attention and help you create and resolve and live your intentions? I'll give you a technique that I use and that many people who meditate use. You might follow along with me. It's not the most simple thing, but it certainly works. So the process is to take deep breaths in and out. And when you take your first deep breath, let your stomach distend. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly till your stomach flattens. And hold that breath for 6 seconds. Breathe in again. Stomach distended, hold that for 4 seconds. Breathe out slowly. And hold that for 6 seconds. Why do I talk about this and why does it work? Naturally, you would continue this process for as much as 10 minutes if you can. But the beauty of what happens when you start, I call it counting your breaths, which you hold for 4 seconds, you release, you hold for 6 seconds. When you count your breaths, you can't think about anything. Why? Because you're thinking about your breaths. You're thinking about your life. You're thinking about the life force, your breath. So when you count your breaths and hold your breath for 4 seconds, release, hold for 6 seconds, it's very difficult to have any thoughts. So what you're really doing there, you're bringing awareness. You're bringing the moment into your life, because all you have when you're breathing like that is the moment, and your mind is clear. And that's the purpose of most of this stuff, is just to clear your mind and get these monkeys out of there that are confusing you and taking you in stressful directions, which makes you basically sick and tired. So there is science when you do the breathing exercises like I spoke about. Again, when you do these breathing exercises, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and it activates the vagus nerve, which settles you down. It brings you into the present, into the moment. It allows you to take these deep breaths. And almost every meditation practice that I've learned or heard about involves breath work. And if you want to get really intense with breath work, look up Wim, W-I-N, Hof, H-O-F-F, W-I-M, Wim Hof. It's a breathing technique that's very intense. I wouldn't recommend it if you're going to hyperventilate, and you well could, but if you get into the practice of this, it's quite effective. It involves taking 30 fairly quick breaths in and out, deep in, deep out, 30. And when you exhale on the 30th breath, you hold your breath for as long as you want. But then when you breathe in after that 30-second, after you hold your breath for however long it is, until you want to breathe in. When you breathe in, then you hold it for another 15 seconds. And at the end of the 15 seconds, you repeat the 30 breathing exercises you did originally. 30 breaths in, 30 breaths out. At your last 30th breath, as you exhale, hold it until you need to breathe. When you breathe in, hold that breath for 15 seconds, and then repeat the process. My friends, when you do things like this, you can't think about anything else, because you're thinking about living. You're thinking about breathing. It clears your mind. It trains your awareness to stay in the present. And the main thing is, it takes the monkey brains out of your head for the time being. Other things you can do, other than breathing exercises and meditation, just get outside. Walk around. Stand in a beautiful shaded area of green grass, or in the bright sun, or get in the water. Do something outside, because that's where we're missing it again. We don't ground ourselves. Grounding is anchoring. we're spiritual beings, but we're here on earth right now. So while we're here on earth, we need to stay anchored to the earth. But we let our minds flip on out there into stressful situations that we can't even control, illusions of the past and illusions of the future that the news media and corporations feed you with commercials on television and take you in these fictitious directions that your mind follows. And when it follows, it gets stressed. When you get stressed, you get wired. When you get wired, you get tired. When you get wired and tired, you get sick. And it's in a circle that keeps circling around viciously for, it could be the rest of your life. So yeah, get grounded, anchor yourself into the earth. Heck, go out and hug a tree. Anything to bring you into the earth where you live right now. And all we're trying to do here is grow intelligence and to be compassionate, to have feeling, to have self-control, to have expanded consciousness. We play our game between our ears, and we're letting the game play us. We're letting media tell us what to think, what to eat, where to go. We're letting social media take us and our children in directions that are not healthy. It's almost like living in a whirlwind or a whirlpool where we're continuously getting sucked into the hole, the deep hole. You don't have to stay there, but the only way out is to figure out how to live in the present. Yes, indeed, we are in this world, and yes, indeed, we will have stress. We're going to have bumps in the road as we go along, but that's why we're here. We're here to learn. We're here to evolve. So take some deep breaths, learn a breathing technique, count your breaths when things get a little bit out of control. You'll find yourself coming back to center, and that's the only place you can live. Enjoy your day. Make a good one. See you soon.